going to allow everything to download, allow the replays to play.
Football weather has arrived and things are getting interesting. I'm Scott Hansen Stadium. The Jets at home to take on the New England Patriots. And this is the Jets quarterback. A touchdown pass here from 23 yards out. The Jets win their second straight as they get the victory here. And here's the Saints running back. Lastly, let's go out to Chicago. The Bears taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bears been rolling.
And it's Bucky Irving. 48 yards for the touchdown.
Oh, wow.
And that's a wrap for this week. For all the hardworking men and women in the studio, Scott Hansen saying goodnight. We'll see you again next week right here on EA Sports.
How did I not get that interview with Bears after the big upset? I have to penalize myself for that one. We will do our incentive check first, and then we will get started. Green Bay, Dolphins, these two teams. Way. All right. What I like to do is just make sure it's just not a habit of the same guys not being able to play. Because I'm here to tell you guys right now, the Giants already is ineligible because it's every week. It's always the Giants. Every week, it's the Giants not able to play their games. So when I see that over and over and over consistently, that is when I just say, you know what, this guy's not eligible. So that's how I do everything, just showing you guys. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Didn't have a lot of interviews this week. Giving you guys in the Cardinals. They played 3 times. Taking a look at the Chargers and the Cardinals. A lot of high scoring in this one. 49-38. Nope. Neither side really scored in the first half. That was very surprising right there. Making sure that I didn't interview neither guy. I didn't. So as we clearly see, let me see who was the game of the week for week 10 while I'm here. We like to start out with the game of the week. Week 10, that was 49ers and the Raiders. How did I not interview them either? But anyway, high scoring in this one. First half scoreless for both guys. 0-0 turnover battle. Justin Herbert, 5 TDs, no interception. Kyler Murray, 4, no interceptions. Omari and Hampton, 123. Raheem Sanders, 114. Got some offense going. Just a lot of offense by both guys. Next up we had was the Cowboys and the Titans. Cowboys won 41-25. They also won a turnover battle, but okay, they did dominate this one, 41-25. Dak Prescott, 1 TD. Cam Ward played good, minus the 2 interceptions. So let's take a listen to hear what the Titans had to say after the loss.
Hey, what's up, Stephen A? Yeah, it was a tough game. Claiborne's a beast. It was hard to get down. He breaks a lot of tackles. It was just hard, just trying to predict him which way he went. I think I thought I was starting to kind of close the gap. I just had a problem stopping him. I did get the turnover, couldn't capitalize on the turnover, on the fumble. That was something that I was kind of pretty upset with, that I couldn't capitalize. And then, yeah, you're right. The interceptions and the turnovers were key, but I was kind of up against it. So there wasn't no secret on what I was going to do. I couldn't do play action. I was down by a possession, 2 possessions. So it was throw. I was trying some different things and it just didn't work out. So I'm going to learn from this and continue to get better.
Yeah, definitely. As you guys can see, just couldn't capitalize on the turnovers, and he also had two himself. All right, so let's take a listen to hear what the Cowboys had to say. I will inform you guys that Claiborne, his rookie running back, is suspended a game.
A gift and a curse, a frustration and a blessing, just to be able to just see opponents like the Buccaneers, who usually goes 12-5, or 13-3, you know what I'm saying, to be 4-4. And that was a big game we won last week. And then here's another team, the Titans, who usually on the bad side of the ball more than not. I'll be watching them play some tough games. And for him to, have a 50% type record and want to come in there, have to win, like, it's just, that's the good thing. That's the fun thing about the NFL. Every week is another opponent trying to get that dub, and you lose some, you bounce back. College, you got to win every game. Madness, it's very interesting. So see where everything falls into the season. But the running back, man, we just been, have some tough games. We always have tough games, whether it's a super tough opponent or a game we should win. Usually comes down to the wire. We play to our opponents mostly. We need to fix that, but we do. And, our team been doing great. The running back been doing great. Ricky running back, I'm really high on this guy. I can't believe that it's one of those guys you just stare at for rounds on end. Like, when you have a running back running for 1,900 yards the year prior. I'm even talking to the Buccaneers about this. He was like, "You seriously going to draft another running back?" Like, yes, I need two. And usually we need three or four. But yeah, so watch him slide back to the second round, third round, fourth round. And then I said, you know what? We got to get this guy. He's going to go somewhere. So we got to get him. So, yeah, like with all our rookies, man, we evaluate them. And, we've been having some good success with them on the field. But, season far from over, and we got to keep doing what we're doing and, get those W's, eat those W's like Winston once said. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a long road, and, hey, you got to keep it going. You got to keep it moving. But it's definitely looking positive with the offensive line and the running backs. But I think you helped me there, son.
As mentioned, as I said before, the Cowboys running back will be on suspension because I guess, matter of fact, instead of me explaining it, I'm going to just read out to you guys what the commissioner said, and we'll keep it rolling. So the commissioner said, all right, he says, due to infractions the past two games, Damon Claiborne is suspended indefinitely for one game admission during live screens and post-game recap. Clean it up. The watcher is always watching. So we have a lot of watchers watching Stephen A. Smith's show. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. But Jets, Mike said, scored a late unnecessary TD and then continued to run up his totals in a blowout win. So yeah, it happens. It happens to us all, man. Get it cleaned up if you are the Cowboys. Moving on, 63-50, man. Another one of those bad games, high scoring games for us, man. We played horrible. 7 total turnovers. Just not how you can win games. We also lost in the time of possession. And I'm sure a lot of you may say to yourself, well, why didn't you win the time of possession? Well, I've been behind for majority of this game. First half, I think that's 31, 8, 9, 10, 11, 31-21. Then in the third quarter, he came out. He scored 10 on this 10. What is it called? 10 unanswered points. And we was able to score 7 in the third, man. But that fourth quarter, his ability to match my 22 points just was way more to get the job done. We just could not get anything going. Just 6 turnovers, man. It's just not how you win games. If you are Shedeur Sanders, 5 TDs, 528. He threw the ball 41. I threw it 39. Wasn't going to lay down in this game. That's just what it was. Taking a look at the running. Running wasn't as good neither. Trail for most of the game. We did have 71 yards. I mean, the 66-yard breakout run was pretty much all we had this entire game. He had 108, then he had 81 as well. He also have a highlight that I will get for you guys. I'm going to get that together. We got some highlights as far as where we are right now, cycle-wise, but he had an amazing play with one of his players. It's more easier to show you guys and explain it. This wide receiver number 84 was killing, man. He was looking like Antonio Brown out there, man. The kid is a beast. Rookie, 5'10", 174 from Rutgers. He had 6 receptions, 162 TDs. Travis Hunter had 2 TDs as well, three receptions. But we really just couldn't get anything going defensively. I'm sure you guys not surprised any bit. Our defense is just bad. I just can't play defense, man. No matter what I try to come up with, I just can't play defense. I've been trying to figure it out. Threw 5 interceptions along with, I did have 3 interceptions, but it just wasn't enough to get the job done. And the Steelers, I would say the biggest thing that he did, honestly, was making it difficult for me offensively. I just couldn't get anything going, and he caused me to have 6 interceptions. And you guys know that's not like me. So my hats off to the Steelers. Great game. Moving on, we had the Jets defeat the Patriots 27-3. Low scoring game, totally opposite of the one you guys just saw. Turnover battle was 1-1. Taylor Green, rookie quarterback, he had 298, 2 TDs. Drake May had 152, 1 interception. Neither side really ran as well. They did make an effort, a lot of rushes. Wide receivers, Arian Smith, wide receiver, had 6 receptions, 88 yards, 1 TD. Mason Taylor, tight end, had 6 receptions, 64 yards, 1 TD. Defensively, a lot of tackles from both sides. I think they both, only 1 interception that came from the Jets. I would say turnover 1-1, time of possession. I would say the Jets' time of possession, along with the third down conversions was tied 4-4. Sometimes games just they had more offensive passing yards, more first downs. That's big deal. I like to interview guys to kind of, because I can sit here and pinpoint it, but we never really would know unless we talk to these guys. Next up we had was the Falcons and the Vikings. Falcons won 31-6. I'm starting to see defense coming from the Falcons. You guys know they've been speaking to us about their inability to play defense, and they've been able to hold their opponents to a little under a TD or so. Turnovers was 1-1. They also won time of possession along with offensive yards gained and first downs 2014. So that's good stuff. Michael Penix Jr. 301, 4 TDs, 1 interception. JJ McCarthy 232. Rushing wise, not so great, but Robinson had 53 yards rushing. Kyle Pitts 8 receptions, 123, 1 TD. Justin Jefferson 8 receptions, 94 yards. A lot of offense in this one, but as I said before, the Falcons were able to keep everything underneath, because obviously there wasn't a lot of points scored in this one. So that tells me they did something well, holding them to 6 points. Moving on, this was the one I really, really wanted to get an interview with. I forgot. Football weekend, man. I'm not on the video game. Week from Friday to Sunday, I'm not on the game until late. I'm literally watching football all day. And this one slid by me, man. Paris finally lost their first game this season. This was a big time upset. Buccaneers won 49-41. They did lose in a turnover battle 3-2, but they were able to still win, and they also own the time of possession. That says a lot considering they turned the ball over more than the Bears. Caleb Williams 353 TDs, 2 interceptions. Caden Salter 227, 2 TDs, 1 interception on his first start this season. You guys heard Tampa Bay speak about him starting last week in an interview after the Cowboys game. Isaiah Pacheco had 93 yards, 2 TDs. Bucky Irvin, 86 yards, 1 TD. So a lot of success on the ground in this one for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Malik Horvath, who was the front runner as far as the rookie, one of the rookie leaders on offense, but this performance probably hurt a little bit. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers was able to hold him a little bit under the 100-yard mark, well, a lot under it. Adunze had 10 receptions, 92 yards, 2 TDs. Emeka Ibuka had 5 receptions, 74 yards, 1 TD. So there was a lot going on offensively for both sides, a lot of tackles. But this is, well, both of them had 2 interceptions apiece. Jalen Johnson and Jaquan Brisker. Then you got Sonny Styles, rookie, 6'4", 236, Mike linebacker, along with Jacob Parrish. So as I said before, it really probably came down to who had the ball last, a few mistakes, and then bam, just like I said, that time of possession, 21-18, that's crucial. I think the offensive rushing yards is also crucial. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers was able to outrush the Bears big time, 240-82. That says a lot, and I need to learn from that. You know, when you see these guys run the ball better than their opposing opponents, they somehow win all the time. So moving on, game of the week we had was the 49ers and the Raiders. 49ers won by 1 possession, 35-28. Turnovers was 1-0. Raiders actually did not turn the ball over any, and they won a time of possession. That is something that's very unheard of. They lost the rushing yards category, and they also lost passing yards along with offensive yardage gained. Taking a look at the statistics, Brock Purdy, 321, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Bo Nix, 244, 1 TD. Rushing wise, you got C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey, 86 yards rushing, 1 TD. Ashton Genty had 71. Brandon Ayuk, 6 receptions, 112, 1 T, who was traded. And he had a chance to play his opposing team, and he was able to do some damage. So that's a good storyline for our recap. Christian McCaffrey had some catches out the backfield, but he still came up short, though. He still lost. A lot of tackles in this game. Nick Martin had 11 tackles. Lonnie Johnson Jr. had 9. Darian Porter, 6'3", cornerback, he had an interception. The Raiders just couldn't, I guess they just did not get the last chance to finish the deal. Looking at the first half, it was 17-14. And the 49ers' ability to outscore the Raiders in 2 quarters definitely played a key part of that game as far as our game of the week. Moving on, next up we had was the Ravens and the Saints. I knew this was going to be a very good dogfight, but the Saints won, man. This is another big-time win. Turnovers was 2-2. Time of possession, 18-12. Rushing yards, wow, the Saints outrushed their opponents 369-72. That says a lot. I'm learning something as I'm recapping these games. Trust me. Back-to-back games where we see that the rushing yardage leader wins the game. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do any good if you outthrow your opponent 502, 6 TDs, but you still lose. Jalen Hurts, 263, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions, but it was right here, man. This is where it counted. Jamel Haynes, 273, 3 TDs rushing. Man, he's a rookie. Keaton Mitchell, 5 receptions, 129. Mark Andrews had 117. Zay Flowers had 110. Eric Singleton Jr. had 85. Maybe the scoring for me is maybe it's kind of putting myself against the A ball. Controlling the game seems to be what a lot of these guys are doing. Bucs had one along with Roquan Smith, and that was a real good game, though. It still was good, 49-55. Lastly, we had Uso Rider beat the computer 19-14. That is some good stuff right there. Let's see what the news about the Cowboys and their ranked number 3 offense are used to get in their way. But New York sports the 5th defense to counter. Okay, so you got the number 3 offense versus the number 5 defense as far as New York. And then you got Boats quarterback, just I guess that's trying to say Colts. Colts quarterback Justin Herbert claims that the schemes of the Niners coach Frank Gore will do nothing to slow him down. Time will tell. Mike or Mark Campbell didn't live up to the 5-star status, but none of that matters if he lights it up as a pro. The wait is finally over. Who rated for the Saints versus the Bears? Wow, that's going to be a good game. To me, that should be the game of the week for this week. Let's see if we have that as our game of the week. Game of the week for the GFSSL is the Saints and the Bears. Great job, Mike. Great selection right there. That definitely is the game of the week. Top performers right now, you got Shedeur Sanders, Justin Herbert, Drake May, Claiborne, Jacobs, and Horvath, top 3 in rushing. Claiborne is suspended, so it looked like Josh Jacobs could potentially be the front runner as far as rushing leader. Receiving yards, you got Barry and Brown, Eric Singleton Jr., and Travis Hunter, top 3, with all 3 coming up on 1,000 yards receiving. Sacks, you got Williams, I'm not trying to say that last name, and Gary. As far as sacks, all of them, 11 sacks, 8 and 8. How does Steven feel about that suspension? Yeah, I think that suspension, honestly, I think it was a good decision. I mean, it's a good question right there, man. Stephen A. Smith have a problem with running the ball. So it's like anytime I see somebody very skilled at running, I don't really see the necessary need to suspend somebody for being great at running the ball when over half of the league passing. And there's supposed to be rules made as far as slider adjustments to stop the passing. So, but I do understand maybe the Cowboys should have not ran the score up. I didn't really watch the game, so I can't really give you a real answer to the game. I don't know if the Cowboys was running the score up or not. But according to Mike, that really was something that had been going on for the last 2 games. So you, as far as stat padding, so if that's the case, then yeah, I definitely would agree to it. But as far as somebody that's dominating running the ball, I think that is something that you should want to see in the league with over half of the guys passing. Queen had 7 interceptions. Wright had 6. Thornhill had 6. Wilson, Sanders, and Miller are the top 3 in tackles. Taking a look at the standings, see if anything has changed. We see the Chargers remains undefeated after the Bears lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in an upset. AFC North, you got the Ravens and the Steelers. Browns on the edge, only 2 games back, along with the Bengals. AFC South, you got the Colts pretty much, 1 win away before knocking out the Jags. Jags can still kind of get in there, maybe a wild card, but 2 game suspensions definitely put me in the hole. AFC, what are your thoughts on the 60 burger brought on by the Steelers? Hey, he came to play. The Steelers definitely, he had the mentality that I got to score a lot of points, and I'm going to do it, whether the Jaguars like it or not. I'm going to make them stop me, and we didn't stop him. He just dominated us. So I think the 6 turnovers his defense was able to create, played a big role into scoring 60, and then my unwillingness to give up because I was not going to give up. I was calling timeouts. I was continuing to throw. So I think that the Steelers had no choice but to keep scoring because I was going to fight back because we're trying to fight to get into the playoffs. But it's like I said, the 2 game suspensions is definitely rough for us this season. Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. Patriots, Jets. I think the Jets. I mean, it's going to come down to the Jets and the Patriots. Dolphins on the. Will Steven be a part of the mock draft show this year? Arch Manning is in this draft. Wow. Yeah, I need to definitely be a part of that. I think that's going to be great. Where will Arch Manning go? I think that's going to be something to look out for. AFC West, you got the Chargers remain undefeated. They're pretty much going to win this division. Speaking of the Raiders, young man team, 6 games back, division record 2-2. I think it's getting close to claiming the Chargers for the AFC West. NFC North, you got the Bears, Packers, Lions. I'm gonna give it to the Bears. Packers still on their heels, but I think it's just it's in the seat of the Bears. NFC South, you got the Saints, Panthers, and the Bucs. Bucs just beat the Bears, man. That was a big win. 2 games back from the Saints. Saints is definitely in the front seats. Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys will be without their running back this week, and they are in a dogfight with the Giants. Giants haven't been able to play their game. Got to step up to try to beat him. Yeah, facts. Yeah, he's very, very good. The Steelers is very good. I did not know. That was my first time playing him. But yeah, I think the Giants, it's going to come down to the Giants, Cowboys, and Eagles. Cowboys without their running back, they're going to have to win without them. I think it's gonna be a tough race. NFC West, you got the 49ers and the Seahawks. Those 2 teams right there. And it's going to come down to those teams. So we will see what happens from here. We have a game against the Colts, and hopefully we can get the job done. He said, will the Giants even play this week? And exactly, the Giants haven't played in the last 2 weeks. So